It's a very beautiful morning from this side. So let me know if you can hear me. When sleep becomes a problem. Hello, let's know who is here. Oh, messages. Yes. Welcome to the live. Where are you watching from? Thank you for the like. Thank you. Let me know where you're watching from. Hey, Mama Chidinma, Evelyn. Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining in. It's a beautiful morning. Happy weekend. Please confirm that you can hear me. It says, good morning, Doc. Good morning, Ma. It's nice seeing you again. It's been a while. Yeah, it's quite an age. Been a long time. Been a long time. Yes, quite a long time. I know you've also been busy on your side. Quite a lot of work, obligations, different things to attend to. Oh, you said I have a sleeping problem now. So let's talk about it. Sleep, sleep, sleep. How important is sleep? I mean, we cannot overemphasize the need for sleep. So let's talk about this sleeping problem. So he was so restless till around past 2 a.m. and woke up over an hour ago. Wow. You've been restless in around 2 a.m. and you woke up over an hour ago. Wow. And this about past 7 a.m. in Nigeria, West African time. So that means even if wherever you are, you're sleeping 2 a.m., waking up at this time. I've been restless over an hour ago. Okay. Over an hour ago means 6. So about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours of sleep, night sleep. Okay, that is not the way to go. Okay, thank you. You can hear me. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. So we need to talk about this sleep. And I can see more content creators joining in. Even if you are not a content creator, you're welcome to this live. I hope my audio is great. Simon TV, Simon TV, Simon TV, Simon. Hello, sister. How are you today? Good to see you. Have you here? Okay, so it should be about around 6 a.m. on your side. Am I right? Simon TV says, good morning, doctor. Good morning. Thank you for hosting me the other day. It was nice coming on your live. I mean, it was such a privilege to have opportunity to interact with the community and then using your platform. Thank you so much for your support. In fact, I cannot thank you enough for the encouragement, the awareness you've brought to the community, your community, the awareness about my health channel. Thank you so much for your support. It's well appreciated. Well appreciated. So, is there something natural I can take to help me sleep normally without being restless? Sure. There are things that you can take that can help with good sleep. But we'll start with talking about why sleep is important and then what are the possible problems with sleep. Interestingly, do you know that quite a number of people will be having challenges with sleep at this time, especially if you're in Nigeria? It's not funny, but that's the reality presently, especially if you are in the highly high populated regions where there is um, tension, where we have tension rising, different experiences of people, invasions, kidnappings, abductions, a lot of tension in those areas. And it's now like everywhere in the country, there is a bit of, not a bit, is it really a bit? There's high tension, high levels of tension. People are anxious, people are fearful, and the fear of the unknown, the fear of what is happening, and the fear of the unknown. These are challenges people are facing. So some people may find it difficult to sleep well at this time, especially if you are in the northern parts and even some parts of the south. And interestingly, this has to I did a video, yes, to talk about this. This something that's affecting individuals, families, communities, the nation, and even the threat to nations all over the world. No wonder the international community is taking interest in Nigeria. Okay, so but I looked at the health implications of terrorism and the different challenges that individuals can have with this kind of experience. So one possible one, and maybe common, yours may not be related to the issue of terrorism, but maybe related to some other things that we need to check when it comes to your own health. So why are you having trouble sleeping? Why are you having, that whether you sleeping oversleeping or you are undersleeping, there's a word like that, you are not healthy. It's not a healthy way to live. The healthy lifestyle is a complete life. Of course, includes the diet, your mental health, exercising, avoiding substance abuse. Of course, sleep is a very, very important one. And if you are having difficulty sleeping, you will be having challenges with other aspects of your life. In fact, you cannot be effective in whatever you do. Being a content creator, for example, you know what it means to be relaxed, to be able to talk, to shoot your videos, record, to go on a live, to put up a post. All this require a good state of mind. And not having proper sleep can affect your mind, your mood, can affect you physically. Some people have symptoms like headache, loss of appetite. Some people may even have nausea. Some people may vomit, abdominal discomfort. These are some symptoms. Some people talk about having some abnormal sensations in their body, movements, and all. So I'm going to talk about natural ways. Usually, when it comes to the practice of medicine and health, there's usually not just one thing that causes a medical condition. For example, if you talk about this sleeplessness now, it may not just be one factor. Maybe some cases may be one, other many cases it's usually related to many factors, okay, including diet, including stress of work, including the state of your community or nation. These are factors that can influence an individual's sleep. So, and when there are multiple factors, then it becomes more challenging. Let me quickly go to the chat. Okay, hi Simon from Chidinma. Evelyn exchanging greetings, saying, showing hearts there. Simon TV says, yes, 6:20 a.m. Yes, about an hour before our time here. We'll be back. Okay. Are you back now? Evelyn, are you back? And then Chidi says, my darling, good morning. Yes, good morning from Simon TV. Vijaya says, brother, welcome Vijaya Benahaya. Welcome, 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 welcome. How is India today? Are you in India? Or where are you currently? Thank you for joining in. Welcome to the live. Everyone who is joining in, let's know where you're watching from. Let's see you in the chat. Okay, Vijaya says, how are you, brother? Thank you, thank you. And happy anniversary to you, Vijaya. I think I came across your post about your wedding anniversary. I want to say congratulations to you and to your family, to you and your spouse, and to your family. I hope you enjoyed your vacation, the celebration. It was nice seeing those pictures. So, how is it going with you? How are you today? Thank you for the third like. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we dive in. Usually, there's a way God normally has programmed the human body, and programmed to, of course, we are not meant to just be there, seated, inactive, but we have been created to move. God has created man for movement, for mobility, and of course, if you look at the creation, being a Christian, we look at the creation of God, and the fact that after working for 6 days, doing all the creation and all, seventh day, Bible talks about God even himself resting, and God rested on the seventh day. So it's important to note that this is something that is spiritual. It is mentally important. It is healthy to talk about, to ensure that you are doing it well. That is getting adequate sleep. So what sleep does is to help to renew. So we are talking about renewal, talking about regeneration, talking about repair. You need to ensure that you are finding time to sleep. Sleep is one way by which we regain our strength, and it's a major way, major way. So if you are not sleeping well, you are not having adequate rest. And what exactly is sleep? Is that state of rest where your muscles generally are rested, even though some organs, of course, most organs in your body are still working, but may not be in that high mode of activity. For example, if you are exercising, you are running, you are exercising your heart, your muscles are moving, your joints are moving. There's a lot of work and circulation going. But when you are rested or you are asleep, those activities are not there, definitely. There's no movement, the circulation is not as much as when you are exercising. Your heart is pumping more blood, pushing to different parts of the body where there is demand. You are burning a lot of calories. You are burning energy. So you you need to understand that if you keep working your body, so that's why sometimes, of course, you feel tired even when you work out. You cannot keep doing that and not uh, find exhaustion taking place. So that's where the place of taking water, hydrating well when you're working out, or doing any form of sports or exercise, you need to ensure that you are well hydrated, and there are breaks, and there is the warm up that you should normally do before getting into the full exercise. So let me look at the chat. Okay, Vijaya says, how are you, brother? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Vijaya says, three like. Yes, thank you for the third like. Hope we can have more likes. If you are yet to like the live, please double tap on your screen. Double tap on your screen to like the live, or click on the like button depending on the device you're using. So sleep is to help us to continue. Some people don't understand that, and they are not intentional. So we need to be intentional about our sleep pattern, our sleep health. I'm so guilty of not having adequate sleep. Oh, Simon TV, so sorry. So what exactly are the reasons for not having adequate sleep? So for you as an adult, adequate sleep actually means that you are getting between 7 to 9 hours. Of course, on the average, we say, okay, 7 hours, 6 hours, depending on your routine. If you have a highly demanding job or career or work, some people work shifts, some people don't. So it depends on your pattern of work. You just need to be able to understand what you do, to be able to help yourself to get the required rest. So if you keep working, your effectiveness will not be as much as when you allow yourself to rest. Okay, because the body repairs, your cells renews, there's regeneration, there's repair, there's room for your memory to regain strength. Okay, and if you're not getting adequate rest, that means you may not be performing at your peak, at your best, if you are not getting adequate rest. Have you been there before, that you needed to do a task and you just knew that you had not had gotten enough rest? You have to put in more effort to get the task done. Imagine if it's something that requires operating a machine, working on a system. You may just find yourself dozing and you are not able to fulfill that task appropriately. So you can see the importance of of sleep. You don't want to have a sleepy doctor or surgeon in the theater. You don't want to have a doctor or surgeon that is dozing when he or she is to be operating you, or no, not you now, operating an individual. How much can that do? It can bring fear, and in fact, it can be a reason to probably get another person to do that surgery. So sleep is important no matter your calling, no matter your career, no matter what you do. Even if you are a student, and you want to achieve, of course, you want to achieve much, you want to be the best, you want to study. If you don't find time to rest, to repair, to recover, to renew, for that rejuvenation, you are not doing it well. So if you really get adequate sleep, it means that when you wake, you feel energized. You are ready to take on the world. You are ready to do the tasks for the day. Your mental health is stable. Your mood is high. You're elevated. You get into. Do you know that you cannot? Sometimes thank God for spiritual things, but sometimes you may get so tired that you don't even have that sense of connection with God. Even when you say you are worshiping God, you are trying to study your Bible, as a Christian, you also need that sense of feeling, being in the right state, the right mood to do what you need to do well. Okay, so you can't work as a tired person and keep working. So Simon TV says, I'm so guilty of not having adequate sleep. So he said the most I get is 4 hours. Now you are like a career woman. I put it like a business person. I know you are really doing YouTube so well, and there are many YouTubers that may be joining this live. And do you know that uh, life, life of trying to be consistent, trying to improve on your content, you know, doing a lot of work, researching, studying, watching other videos, other people in your niche, trying to see how you can improve, knowing what God is telling you to do and finding ways, the wisdom to do it. These are quite demanding. So even if you are not a content creator, if you're a businessman or woman, whatever you do, you are a career person, you're a teacher, an engineer. Imagine a pilot that is, I mean, thank God for co-piloting, thank God for alternatives, autopilot and all. But imagine a sleepy pilot, you know what that means. Imagine a sleepy driver, you know, just imagine what could happen. So that's how important sleep is. There are quite a number of accidents that could have been avoided if people probably ensure that they got adequate rest or sleep before getting onto the wheels, getting to the wheels to drive. So we need to make improvement. So the most you get is 4 hours. Now, the important thing, Simon TV, is that if you are getting 4 hours, I want to be sure those 4 hours, after the 4 hours, when you wake, do you feel rested? Do you feel rested? Let me know in the chat. So do you feel rested? The lack of sleep is because of my autistic child. Okay, now you're mentioning that, and it's understandable, and it's a lot of work. Oh, it's a lot of work, and I understand that. And I, I think I observed, that commitment which is expected, the time that you need to spend together, and that's understandable. So that's one of the things that people, that's at least one example of a reason why people, you as an individual may be having poor sleep. You are not just getting it when sleeping becomes a problem. So if it's a pattern already, you have that kind of commitment, it's a lot of work, and you are well appreciated. And I pray God to strengthen you and to help with your daughter, your child, and to help with the healing that is required, so that she can enjoy, you can enjoy the life that you should enjoy as a family. So I hope, amen, yes, amen. I hope, with that clarifies the fact that, different people, we usually, so that's why we usually individualize our care. For example, someone else may say, I'm doing 4 hours. And why the person is doing 4 hours of sleep is because they do not just physical work or office work, they go physically to the office. They also do, they work remotely. They also like hybrid. They have to also work from the home, from their home. So if that is happening, that's different. And if the person is a single person, single man or woman, it's different. When it's a married person, and not just a married person with children. So for women, for example, I understand the need to be a wife, of course, importantly, and to be a mother. Also, for the men, the importance of being a husband and doing your fathering role as expected. So these are demands apart from career, business, So, but in trying to do all these things, if you're going to be effective in offering care, support, having a good family life, you need to take care of yourself. You need to be sure that you are healthy. So one of the things that we do, I do when it comes to, for example, the elderly who receive care from others, who need support from other people. We want to be sure that such persons, people caring for those who need care, that is carers, they themselves are in the right state of health, not just physically, mentally, socially, even spiritually, that they are very stable and okay to handle these senior citizens. So it applies to whether you're an adult, young adult, older adult, you have responsibilities, you have obligations, you have roles. But if you're going to be effective, your sleep is not something you're going to joke with. You're not going to joke with that. Okay. So when there's a sleeping problem, it may mean that most of the time, people are not finding enough time to sleep, are not getting adequate sleep. While some other cases, it may be that the individual is even sleeping excessively. Have you seen people sleep at work? Have you seen people sleep driving, sleep walking? Some people talk about sleeping after food, which may be normal. You feel a bit uh, slightly sometimes because it may be some low sugar dizziness. Of course, what's happening is what we call um, postprandial somnolence. Postprandial somnolence. Postprandial. That means after food. There's a lot of work that is going on in your digestive system, such that blood goes to that area more. There's demand because of the work. So that diversion from the brain and other organs may now be the reason for that little sense of sleepiness. And when it happens, depending on the environment you are in, if you are in an office environment after taking your break or lunch, you don't want to go to bed. You're not going to go to bed. So you are able to control it. But if you are in your house, your own house, actually you can actually decide to go to bed. But it's not healthy to even go to sleep immediately. So let's quickly talk about some of the things that may be responsible for sleeping disorders, sleeping problems, sleeplessness specifically. Stress is a major factor, and stress is your body's reaction to an external or internal factor. And if that continues and it's overwhelming, it leads to burnout. And when an individual is burnt out, sleeplessness is one of these manifestations. Okay, so you need to check your activities. You need to check even your office work. Is it so demanding that you don't have time to sleep, that it's now affecting your sleep? And do you know what? When you get burnt out, when you are not able to continue the work, the fact is that that work will continue. Someone else may do that job. So you need to take responsibility for yourself. So stress, whether physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, social stress, national stress, as is the case in Nigeria, this can be a cause. Another thing is diet. Some people are eating wrong. Some people on this side, and depending on wherever you are, in terms of what you are eating in terms of the quantity. If you are taking a lot of carbohydrates, heavy meals, especially at night, then you are not doing it right. That may disturb your sleep. And interestingly, some people find it difficult to change because it's become a habit taking swallows, especially at night. So you need to make necessary adjustments if you're going to have better sleeping experience. Okay, so if you eat, your food takes some time to try to digest, and depending on what you eat, it may disturb your digestive system. Some people even take drinks, whether it's lemon tea, caffeinated drinks, any form of heavy solutes, even if it is water. If you take a lot at night just before bed, you are likely to be waking up frequently, and that will disturb your sleep. And there are certain um, caffeinated substances that can also disturb your sleep. So you should avoid those. Another reason may be some people actually find time to sleep during the day. And if you are already sleeping during the day, it's a tendency for you to be awake at night. Let me know if you are still there. Let me know if you are still there. Can you still hear me? Hello. Can you still hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, thank you, Simon TV. You're still there. Thank you for staying tuned. All right. So if you are here and you are just coming across my channel for the first time, I want to invite you to join the community. Please subscribe to my channel. You will find interesting videos on health, wellness, lifestyle, and everything around it. Sometimes I share my YouTube experience, and it's been interesting 4 years on YouTube. But I want you to join the community, subscribe, and click on all notifications so that you can always be notified when I come up live like this, or when I upload a video or post in the community. Okay. Thank you so much for the feedback, Simon TV. All right, so thank you. All right, so you say thanks so much for the advice. I'm learning. Great, great. Thank you for the feedback on the audio. So I was talking about the causes, different causes. I talk about stress. I talk about diet. It could even be drink. Then the work pattern. And in this age, of course, one of the very common ones is the use of electronic devices. Our phones, social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We want to check everything. And the way these things have been designed in such a way that you can move easily. Interfaces. You can move from one page or one screen to the other. So, but there has to be some form of discipline. Do you know that, our phones have these controls, helps you to estimate the number of hours or minutes that you are spending on a particular app per day. And with that, you can talk about your health. In fact, do you know that there is something called, of course, battery health? So if you check, your battery is dropping in percentage and or increasing, the same way your social life, in a way, you can determine how whether you are gaining or losing the battery. Okay, but the more we expose ourselves, the more the possibility of having sleep problems. So you have to be intentional. You have to know what time you are spending on what, and what prioritizing is key. What is this doing? Is this of advantage? Is this going to help me uh, achieve more or make more money? Okay, so but we must not be making more money and be losing our sleep. Okay, there has to be a balance. Okay, there are times I actually reject some offers, some consultations, invitations, because I also need to take care of my health. I need to find time to sleep, find time to rest, find time to relax. You know, there are so many other obligations I need to do. So if you don't prioritize, you just find out that time is going, you are just doing a lot. This live stream, for example, has a time. I'm going to end it when it's time. Very few, a few minutes now. So, but if I don't do that, I can go on and on. Of course, if I go on and on, there may be a time I can do that. It will help the system, it will help the channel, it will help more viewers. And if you are here and you are here to click on the like button or double tap on your screen, please do to like the live. I know if you can hear me, kindly do so. All right. So if you spend so much time like we all do, you check, how much time you spend on social media. It's a lot. And if you do that, especially towards your sleep time, bedtime, then it's likely to disturb your sleep. The earlier you are off screen, an hour at least before bed, makes so much difference. You can try it an hour or two before bed. Just try to keep your phone away, your laptop, your tab, avoid the TV, avoid any form of music around you. This will help. Of course, we know that there are some people that I'll talk about sleeping during the day. There are some people that also stay in some uncomfortable environment. For example, noisy environment. You have some construction ongoing around you where you're staying, or a neighbor or neighbors that like to play music loud and all, especially at night. These are things that can affect an individual's sleep. There are certain disease conditions that individuals may have. Individuals with urinary tract infection, prostate problems, people with diabetes, hypertension, people that may have their sleep disturbed, even asthma, may be worse at night, depending on the environment. So these are some of the things, and some other reasons. Some medications may also cause sleeplessness. So what should you be doing? Of course, you know the causes. Then we should be doing the things that will help us to deal with the causes. So reduce stress. Very important. Reduce stress. If you reduce stress, you will notice that uh, your life will be better. Not just your sleep, your blood pressure will be better controlled if you are hypertensive. Your blood sugar also, it's healthy for you. We talk about the the stress factor. Yeah, usually very, very stressful. So balance things. Then food, you need to avoid eating late at night. You need to be sure that you are balancing your meals. Quantity, not just what you are eating, but the quantity also matters. So you need to be moderate in your consumption. Healthy plate is actually 50% of fruits and vegetables, 25% of proteins, 25% of good fat. So your doctor will definitely want to ask you questions around sleep if you have a sleep problem. Being a medical doctor, I understand there are many causes, and the reason for your own sleeplessness will be different from that for another person. So if you are going to get a proper diagnosis, you need to see your doctor. I need to emphasize that. And when you see your doctor, you will definitely get appropriate history, taking examination, and some tests may be required because some other symptoms may be associated with that sleeplessness. Some people may be having frequent headache, nausea, abdominal discomfort. Some people have some things moving their body. So some people, it may just be a social problem that gets them anxious. That's getting them anxious. All right. So thank you for the feedback. Thanks so much for the advice and learning. So let me look at um, Chidema is in Nigeria, so I'll talk about some natural things to take. All right, so this is a general advice. You need to see your doctor for specific management. All right, okay, but there are natural things. For example, just like I said, if you take heavy meals at night, which is not advisable. Carbohydrates, some may disturb, other times you may find yourself sleeping and dozing and not waking up even early enough. All right, so you have to study your body. But there are some natural things like dates, like watermelon. Of course, watermelon also has um, of course, water that may disturb you if you take it close to bed, may also disturb you, help make you wake up going to the restroom frequently. So there are other things like bananas, grapes, pineapples, um, even some foods like beans, some people, milk can help you to sleep better. So yogurt, drinks, these are helpful things. So apart from these things that you can take, which are natural, you need to study your environment. Is it a noisy one? You need to deal with noise in your environment in any way that you can. You need to also ensure that you are sleeping in dark room. It's better for sleep than where the room is well lit. Okay, and of course, your doctor may decide to give you some medications. I'm not going to be mentioning those ones here. So depending on what he or she finds out. I believe you've learned something from this session, talking about sleep. So if you are in Nigeria, you just need to keep praying. We need to keep talking about the issues um, happening in the nation. And we believe that as we keep talking, doing the needful, as individuals, families, communities, states, nation, international bodies coming in, we will be having better sleep. Okay, so the Lord continues to keep us and guide us all the way. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again soon. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Simon TV, thank you so much for engaging. Mhm. Thank you for the feedback. So I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.